Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time to take a look at the news from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. We'll start first with the members of the 2012 U.S. Olympic Greco-Roman team who were tested at the 2012 Kirby Cup, an exhibition dual meet against the always powerful Olympic team from Georgia. The event, held at Lyons Township High School in LaGrange, Illinois, honors the late national team Greco star Jake Kirby. The Kirby Cup provided tremendous drama for the large crowd in attendance and served to prepare our team and fans for the upcoming Summer Olympic Games. Team USA dropped the first two bouts, hushing the packed gym. It was a battle of 2008 Olympians at 121 pounds that started it all off. Lasha Gogitse stopped Spencer Mango 2-0-1-0. Then at 132 pounds, Ravej Lashki topped Dmitry Rebenchinsky 1-0-4-0. Rebenchinsky was a late replacement for Chicago area native Ellis Coleman, who was scratched shortly before the event due to injury. The red, white, and blue started to wave proudly as Team USA rebounded at 145 pounds. Two-time world medalist Justin Lester avenged last year's World Championship semifinal loss to world silver medalist Manuchar Tashadia. 1-0-3-1 the final score in that bout. Lester won the first period by defending from the parterre, and in the second period he scored two push-outs and a takedown.
It's always good to win, in front of the home crowd. It's just good to win, period. But when you're on your home turf, you got to defend it. You got to put that W up. So it gives me the momentum going in, just in case I have to wrestle him again. And kind of felt him out a little bit. I'm sure he was doing the same thing. And I got a game plan against you now, and I know what's going to work.
Well, rapidly improving 163-pound star Ben Provisor followed with his biggest victory to date when he defeated 2008 Olympic champion and 2003 world champion Manuchar Krvelkia 1-0-1-0. Provisor scored points from the neutral position in both periods with a first period pushout and a second period takedown to defeat the Georgian, who after a long career announced his retirement to the appreciative crowd.
It's great. People don't really see Greco-Roman wrestling a lot, and have this fan base around for a great cause for Jake Kirby. It's an awesome cause, and I couldn't be happier wrestling here against the Georgian team.
Well, it was a seesaw battle back and forth, and at 185 pounds, Vladimir Gachice edged American Chaz Betts 2-0-1-0, breaking the tie and giving the Georgians a 3-2 lead. Next up for Team USA, a fan favorite in Justin Ruiz, a 2005 world bronze medalist who's faced considerable disappointment in his career. Ruiz was a runner-up at the 2004 and 2008 Olympic trials and was unable to qualify his weight for the United States to compete in the 2012 Olympic Games. Ruiz traveled to China and then on to Finland in a very short period of time, attempting to qualify his weight. The Kirby Cup provided the opportunity to wrestle his last Greco-Roman match of his career and finish with a resounding slap of the mat. Going into the deciding third period of his bout against Georgia's Sosa Jabidze, Ruiz rocked the house with a dramatic pin. He then unlaced his shoes and left them in the center of the mat, signifying his retirement from the sport.
There's been a lot of ups and downs. I've had a lot of support from a lot of amazing people, and I've been doing it for so long. It's just been my life. So it's a little different now that it's come to an end. But I'm glad I could wrestle here in the Kirby Cup.
We go now to 264 pounds. The duel was tied at 3 wins each. The U.S. rally fell just short as Guram Frizalidze edged two-time Olympian Dramil Byers 1-0-3-1, giving Georgia a 4-3 victory. Fans also had the chance to enjoy an exhibition match where Egypt's 211-pound world champion Mohamed Abdel Fattah stopped Olympic trials champion R.C. Johnson in 3 periods. The big stories from the Kirby Cup overall included the amazing finish for Ruiz, the strong effort of world-class star Lester, and the sparkling effort by one of America's young guns, Ben Provisor. Well, another U.S. Olympic team will be on the mats this weekend, as 3 members of the U.S. team for the London Games will be a part of a strong U.S. contingent at the 2012 Women's World Cup in Tokyo, Japan. The top 8 nations from the 2011 World Championships are entered in the annual International Dual Meet Championship. The United States placed second in the Women's World Cup in 2009 and 2010, only falling to China in the championship finals both years. The members of the London Olympic team will be competing at the World Cup includes 105-pound two-time Olympian and 2008 world champion Clarissa Chun. Olympian Kelsey Campbell at 121 pounds. Olympian and 2010 world silver medalist Elena Peroskova at 138 pounds. In total, 7 of the 8 wrestlers competing for the U.S. at the World Cup have competed for the United States at the Senior World Championships. Among them, and moving up to 158 pounds for this event, 2011 world bronze medalist Adeline Gray. The other top women's wrestling powers in the field include world champion Japan, Canada, Mongolia, Russia, Azerbaijan, China, and Ukraine. National women's coach Terry Steiner has high hopes for the U.S. team.
The World Cup is an important competition. I mean, we have the top 8 teams in the world from last year's World Championship competing here. We're in Tokyo, which is huge for women's wrestling, and so we'd like to go over there and make a statement, and that we're here as a program.
Well, as the U.S. team prepared for the World Cup, the athletes were treated to a very special surprise guest. Two-time Olympic champion and many-time world champion Kaori Icho of Japan came through Colorado Springs to train for the week. Icho has dominated international wrestling now for a decade. She worked out with American Olympian Elena Peroskova and her U.S. national team members, raising the bar throughout the training cycle.
I think it was important for everyone, to realize that, okay, here's one of the best that has ever been in women's wrestling. She's a 2-time Olympic champion, a 7-time world champion. She's obviously been highly successful while she's been at the senior level for Japan. But I think it was important for us to be around her just to realize, hey, she's a human being.
Well, another U.S. team featuring men's and women's freestyle stars will travel to New Delhi, India this weekend to compete at the Hari Ram Grand Prix. The U.S. roster shines with a number of women's wrestling stars. That includes 2-time world champion Christy Davis at 158 pounds, 2-time junior world champion Victoria Anthony at 105 pounds, and past U.S. senior world team member Whitney Condor at 112 pounds. On the men's side, past NCAA champion John Reeder will compete at 185 pounds. He'll be joined by talented Win Mahalik at 211 pounds. Of course, we'll have updates for you in coming weeks on all the international action. Well, another major activity during the week prior to the Beat the Streets Gala is USA Wrestling's 2012 New Jersey Drive of Champions to be held at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, Monday, June 4th. The big news is that the 6 athletes who have qualified to compete at the London Olympics in men's freestyle will be there in person as part of the activities. Also attending are coaches, including National Freestyle Coach and Olympic medalist Zeke Jones, 2011 FILA International Coach of the Year Mark Manning, and many others. A number of other Freestyle Team USA members will be there in attendance. Mixed martial arts legend and past Greco-Roman wrestling great Randy Couture will be on hand. Couture has supported the event as its honorary chairman and has now committed to being at the Trump National Club in person. An original Tadaki Hata painting of Couture will be auctioned as a fundraiser for USA Wrestling. It depicts Randy in a fighting stance, but also has some background images of him wrestling. It's a beautiful piece, a great painting, surely will raise a lot of money. Our friend Tadaki Hata has been an Olympic coach for USA Wrestling and was an NCAA champ in college. A renowned artist, Hata has done numerous paintings of wrestlers over the years. Reminder now, the golf outing for the New Jersey Drive of Champs will begin at 8:30 in the morning. The Drive of Champions dinner and wrestling exhibition is scheduled for 3:30 in the afternoon. Now remember, a few spots are available. You don't want to wait, though. USA Wrestling is offering great opportunities for foursomes and singles at this world-famous course. The Trump National Club in Bedminster is rated among the top 100 golf courses in the world. Special pricing for the golf outing is now available for USA Wrestling members. For more information or to sign up for the golf outing, or you can bid on the Randy Couture painting, contact our friend at USA Wrestling, Larry Nugent. Here's his number, 719-265-3639, or we'll put his email address right here on the bottom of the screen as well. Well, last week, 5 Olympic wrestlers were among the featured athletes at the U.S. Olympic Media Summit held in Dallas, Texas. The USOC brought together many of the best Olympic athletes who are expected to excel at the 2012 Olympic Games in London. During the summit, these athletes were interviewed by hundreds of media from across the U.S. and around the world, including those who will be on hand in London to cover the Games. Representing USA Wrestling at the Media Summit, Olympian and world champion Jordan Burroughs, 2-time Olympian and world champion Clarissa Chun, Olympian and world medalist Justin Lester, world medalist Jake Herbert, 2-time Olympian Spencer Mango, and many others. All did an amazing job representing the sport and helped to promote the U.S. team for the Olympic Games. While there, USA Wrestling's Craig Sesker visited with Burroughs and Lester, who had a famous grudge match last year at the World Team Training Camp. They had a chance to do some more smack talk about a possible rematch.
There's talk of maybe a rematch between you two.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a rematch.
No, we made a bet though last year. Seriously, we made a bet. I remember right before the World Championships, I talked to him and I was like, hey, whoever does better at the World Championships, we're gonna have the other person get on camera and tell how good that person is at wrestling. He never lived up to that end of the deal.
All right, so I'm saying it right now. Jordan Burroughs is an okay wrestler. he's okay. I'll be honest.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Both of these guys are explosive, and it's not over. This is going to be a great match.
Well, it's official. New York City is set to host the Beat the Streets Gala June 7th in historic Times Square. The Grapple and the Big Apple will have much for wrestling fans to bite into. First, it was announced that 6 U.S. freestyle Olympians will compete and will face the world champion Russian team in this outstanding dual meet event. The Russian lineup will not be announced until after the upcoming Russian National Championships, but it is expected to include some highly talented and experienced wrestlers. It's the second straight year Team USA and Russia have battled at the crossroads of the world at the Beat the Streets Gala in Times Square. In 2011, if you recall, the United States handled Russia by the score of 5-2. It was the first sports event ever held in the historic location, and thousands of fans packed Times Square to see history in the making. While we await word on the Russian team, the U.S. team has been announced. It'll feature all 6 of the 2012 U.S. Olympians, which have been determined in men's freestyle. The talented team includes 163-pound Olympian and 2011 world champion Jordan Burroughs. Olympian and 2009 world silver medalist Jake Herbert will compete at 185 pounds, and 264-pound Olympian and 2009 world bronze medalist Trevel Delegna will compete, as will Olympian and 2011 world bronze medalist Jake Varner, but he'll be at 211 pounds. 121-pound Olympian Sam Hazewinkle will be ready, as will Olympian Jared Freyer at 145 pounds. Now, the weight class where American Freestyle Olympics has not yet determined is 132 pounds, and yet Logan Stieber will wrestle for the U.S., the 2011 NCAA champion for Ohio State. Remember, he placed second at the 2012 U.S. Olympic trials in Iowa City. Well, that brings us to the next huge story coming out of the Times Square event. The U.S. Olympic team wrestle-off for 132 pounds of men freestyle will be held right alongside. 3 talented athletes will participate in the U.S. Olympic team wrestle-off. 2009 World Team member Sean Bunce, 2011 World Team member Reese Humphrey, and 2012 Olympic Trials champion Coleman Scott. Rewind fast to Iowa City and the trials. The U.S. had not qualified at 132 pounds. A week later, Bunch took a bronze medal at the Olympic Games qualifier in China, which did qualify the U.S. at the weight to compete in London. Based upon the Olympic trials procedure, those eligible to compete in the wrestle-off include Bunch and Humphrey, who were both held out of the Olympic trials because of the overseas Olympic qualifiers, and of course Scott, who won the Olympic trials event at the weight. Now, because Bunch was the athlete who qualified the nation, he automatically moves directly into the best of 3 championship series for the Olympic berth. Earlier in the day, on June 7th, there will be a single preliminary bout between Humphrey and Scott to determine which athlete will advance to the championship series against Bunch. That match is scheduled for 1 o'clock Eastern. The final series between Bunch and the Humphrey-Scott winner will begin at 6 p.m., with all three matches, if needed, to be held alongside the USA versus Russia duel. Confused? Take a look at themat.com. They explain it pretty thoroughly there, and you'll want to follow along, most certainly. More big news now, you bet. We've got it. Huge, in fact, as 2 additional senior-level exhibition bouts have been added to the card. There'll be a battle at 163 pounds of men's freestyle between college wrestling sensation and 3-time NCAA champion Kyle Dake of the U.S. and 2-time Olympian and NCAA champion Matt Gentry of Canada. Dake has won 3 NCAA titles for Cornell University and became the first wrestler ever to win an NCAA Division I national title at 3 different weight classes. Dake was an impressive 4th at the 2012 U.S. Olympic Team Trials. Gentry, who was an NCAA champ for Stanford, competed in the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games for Canada and is qualified to compete again at the 2012 Olympic Games in London. Well, the women's match will be a battle between 2-time U.S. World Team member and 3-time FILA Junior World medalist Helen Maroulis. Her opponent, 2011 U.S. World Team Trials runner-up Ashley Hudson. National freestyle coach Zeke Jones talked to us about the excitement expected in Times Square.
It's an opportunity to wrestle against the best country in the world, and that's what we aspire to be. A part of beating them at the World Championships or Olympic Games is beating them in a dual meet, and so we put this on the calendar as a big target. If you ask me, the 60-kilo guys, they got a chip on their shoulder, as they should be. I think a lot of people are counting them out. Not me. I actually believe this is one of our weight classes where we could be a favorite at.
Well, by airplane, boat, subway, car, or on foot, I urge you all to get to New York City on Thursday, June 7th. Be there in Times Square. I guarantee you it'll be spectacular. Well, this weekend, USA Wrestling will host yet another major age group World Team Trials competition. Many of the nation's top high school stars or college underclassmen will compete in the 2012 FILA Junior World Team Trials for Men at Palmer High School in Colorado Springs, Colorado, May 26th. That's this Saturday. FILA Junior wrestlers are athletes who are 17 to 20 years old. The champions of men's freestyle and Greco at the event earn the right to represent the U.S. at the 2012 FILA Junior World Championships in Pattaya, Thailand, September 4th through the 9th. 5 members of the 2011 U.S. FILA Junior World Team in men's freestyle are eligible to try out again, including Nick Roberts at 110 pounds, Mark Gray at 121 pounds, Taylor Massa at 163 pounds, Tanner Hall at 211 pounds, Daniel Miller at 264 pounds. Remember, Gray placed 5th at the 2011 FILA Junior World Championships and Miller placed 7th. Gray was a 2012 Junior World Team Trials champion and will advance to the best of 3 championship series. Well, 4 of the members of the 2011 U.S. FILA Junior World Greco-Roman team are also eligible to compete again this year, including Jake Bellis at 110 pounds, Mike Pfeffinger at 121 pounds, Jesse Thilke at 132 pounds, and Marcus Finau at 211 pounds. As the 2012 FILA Junior Nationals champion, Finau gets to sit out and goes directly to the best of 3 championship series. Of course, we'll report on this event on next week's episode. Visit themat.tv for video coverage of the event. Well, plans are now underway for this summer's USA Wrestling Beach National Championships and World Trials, which will return to Rochester, New York for the 6th straight year. The competition is scheduled for Ontario Beach Park along the shores of famous Lake Ontario. When? July 14th and 15th. National Championships in Beach Wrestling will be held along the schoolboy and cadet, junior, senior men, senior women, and veterans levels. The Senior Beach World Team Trials will determine the U.S. athletes for the FILA World Beach Championships. The Women's Worlds are in Pattaya, Thailand, September 10th through the 11th. The Men's Beach Worlds are in Budapest, Hungary, September 24th. For the 5th year, the National High School Beach Duels will be held. High school club teams battle for team trophies and bragging rights. You can find more information on this growing and popular event simply by visiting themat.com. Well, USA Wrestling's popular regional championship series is underway across the country, and athletes of many ages, including kids, cadets, juniors, seniors, are all getting a chance to test themselves against some of the best athletes in their area, as well as many of the best wrestlers in the country. On the cadet and junior levels, these events are a preview of the top stars expected to compete this summer at the ASICS Vaughn Junior and Cadet Nationals in Fargo. So far this year, regional events have been held at Battleground, Washington for the Northwest Junior and Cadet Regionals, Tucson, Arizona for the Western Junior Regionals, Waterloo, Iowa for the Northern Plains Junior and Senior Regionals, Bloomsburg, PA for the Northeast Kids, Cadet, and Junior Regionals. Grand Rapids, Michigan for the Central Kids, Cadet, and Junior Regionals, and more regional events will be held in other locations throughout the month of June. You can find more information on all of USA Wrestling's regional and national events simply by visiting usawrestlingevents.com.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, Colorado Springs is the home of USA Wrestling, and the Olympic Training Center is one of the top sports towns in the world. This year, 2 legendary wrestlers and wrestling coaches will be inducted into the Colorado Springs Sports Hall of Fame. Being honored will be retired Air Force head wrestling coach Wayne Bachman. He was a 3-time All-American and NCAA champ at the University of Oklahoma, and then went on to compete in the Olympic Games. Bachman also was the head coach for the 1976 U.S. Olympic team at the Games in Montreal. He coached at the Air Force Academy for 27 years. Wayne was also a world-class mountain climber, ultra-marathoner, and triathlete. Also honored will be Indiana University head coach Dwayne Goldman. He was one of the best high school wrestlers in Colorado history when he won 2 state titles at Cheyenne Mountain High School in 1979 and again in 1981. Goldman was a 4-time NCAA finalist and an NCAA champ under Dan Gable at Iowa. He also claimed 4 Big Ten titles. Goldman has coached at Indiana now for 20 years with 3 individual NCAA champs and 25 All-Americans on his teams. Tom James, who serves as USA Wrestling's legal counsel, will receive the Thayer Tutt Award for his service to the community. Congratulations to these wrestling leaders for their recognition among Colorado Springs sports legends. Thanks, guys. Well, wrestling fans truly enjoy the excitement of Division I college wrestling, especially the performances of the athletes at the annual NCAA championships. In addition to being great wrestlers, so many of the top stars are also outstanding students, handling the challenges of academics right alongside the rigors of elite competition. Well, the National Wrestling Coaches Association announced its Division I All-Academic Top 30 teams and the NWCA Individual All-Academic Wrestling team for this year. The top academic team for this year was Mark Manning's Nebraska Cornhuskers with a 3.46 team GPA. The Harvard Crimson under Coach Jay Weiss was second with a 3.37 GPA. And rounding out the top 5 teams, American with Coach Teague Moore, Utah Valley with Coach Greg Williams, and Indiana with Coach Dwayne Goldman. The individual All-American team featured 87 athletes, including 5 individual NCAA Division I champs who were among winners on the mat as well as in the classroom. Honored were NCAA champs Matt McDonough of Iowa, Kellen Russell of Michigan, Frank Molinaro of Penn State, Kyle Dake of Cornell, and David Taylor of Penn State. Now, the 2012 individual with the highest GPA is Northern Illinois' Brad Dykus, who has a 4.0 while working toward his master's degree in sports management. USA Wrestling applauds the college teams and individual college athletes who are role models for what student athletes should be. Well, it's time for our USA Wrestling Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in by fans and families from around the country and are also being considered for the photo contest page on USA Wrestler magazine, as well as for the USA Wrestling Facebook page. This week, our USA Wrestling Weekly Photo of the Week is taken by Rebecca Brown. It depicts 10-year-old Seth Brown taking first place in the rookie division at 55 pounds at the Dixie Nationals in Atlanta, Georgia. You can have your photographs considered by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Thanks for watching all the news that matters from USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper, and for all of us here on the show, for everybody at USA Wrestling, thanks for watching. Good night.